that.
Quit playing those stupid video games, boy. I want to watch TV.
We're live in front of City Hall as joyless plutocrat Montgomery Burns is about to unveil his new line of nuclear-powered buses.
Behold the Burns Atomic Megabus. Faster, cheaper, and completely safe.
Please kill me. That poor man. I hope someone does kill him.
Those radioactive buses are a threat to the public health.
Threat to public health, eh? That gives me an idea. What do you think?
Just get to the game already.
And with that brief introduction, welcome to the Simpsons Road Rage. We're going to start in Mission Mode, which has varying objectives, unlike the main mode, which is more like Crazy Taxi. We're going to do 2 per episode. And this first one is actually relevant to the main story.
You won't get away with this, Bones!
So something you'll notice right as you pick up the game is that all of the cars move very, very fast. And in Mission Mode, in spite of your great speed, you have to hit many small objectives. Like, we have to destroy 12 newspaper boxes, which aren't exactly giant. And we do have to make actual contact with the object. We can't just hit the blue circle around it. So the best way to do that is to slow down right as we see an object, and then steer ourselves gently into it, and accelerate after we hit it. Some of the cars have a form of weird cell shading that I'm not quite sure I can describe properly. You can see it here on Willie's tractor. It has much thicker outlines than anything else in the game world. Now this mission is fairly simple. All of the newspaper boxes are in a row, and they're easy to spot. You can do way better than this, but I ran into a lot of cars there at the end.
No! Never doubt a Scotsman! Boy, remember what Daddy told you about being responsible and showing up to work on time? Well, it's all a lie.
Homer, that's America to me.
This is probably the easiest objective in the whole game. You just have to drive to the power plant without getting hit by Smithers, but he doesn't move nearly fast enough to catch you.
I am too smart. S-M-R-T. I mean, S-M-A-R-T.
Alright, so back to the main menu. We're going to tackle Road Rage, which is the game's main mode, and the campaign, if you will. We're going to play as Abe, because he is very fast and very small.
Ah, another day, another set of irradiated passengers. Excellent.
Oh, I sure hope I don't fall asleep at the wheel.
The main game is played by driving to a blue circle to pick up a passenger and then driving them very quickly to their destination, and I do mean very quickly. Almost all of the characters have unique quips and things to say, but you're not going to be hearing all of those because I'm talking over it. How well you're paid depends heavily on how fast you get someplace. You get $100 for going as fast as possible and 3 extra seconds. If you do average, you get 1 second. And if you do poorly, you get no seconds and only $25. You can already see that Abe is incredibly fast, which is why I picked him. He's the fastest of the starter characters, and he also turns incredibly fast, and it's easy to maneuver him into small areas.
You're with Abe now.
Ugh, I've had enough of those kids. Just take me home, okay?
I'm afraid of the future.
Sometimes you'll get bonus objectives to complete on the way to your mission. For example, we have to avoid hitting any cars on the way to Krabappel's home, which is much more difficult with larger cars, let me tell you. We took a shortcut into this water because there's no cars in the water, as one would expect. We can also drive on the sidewalk fairly easily without bumping into anything, especially with a car this fast and tiny. Most of the roadways in Evergreen Terrace, which is this first location, are very straightforward, very open. It's always clear how to get to your destination, and there are some small shortcuts that are also very obvious.
Hi, Dr. Nick. Take me to the retirement castle, please. I need a cadaver to practice on. No talking while I'm driving.
A lot of the later stages will have way more obstacles than this. There's also a ton of physics objects, which you can get caught on fairly easily. A lot of people seem to find the collision with physics objects to be incredibly frustrating. Here is my method to deal with getting caught on physics objects. If you get caught on a physics object, reverse. That may actually seem counterintuitive at times because a lot of the physics objects can be plowed straight through. But with smaller cars like Grandpa or bigger cars that aren't necessarily strong, it's very easy to get caught on things like lampposts.
Give my best to the New Deal!
Oh my goodness, that was so fast!
Hot diggity, let's go, go, go!
Krusty Burger, please. Gotta launch our new Mad Cow Burger.
What year is this?
All of the characters have various motivations for going to the locations they visit, but they don't always make sense. For example, you'll often pick up a character and then pick them up a few seconds after that. Or you'll pick up a character who was supposed to be at a place they weren't. And although all of the passengers have unique dialogue for their locations, the drivers do not. The drivers say the same thing no matter who you pick up most of the time.
Get in the bloomin' car already!
Please take me to the grocery store. Their low prices make me laugh.
Do you have my pills?
So it may seem a little unclear why exactly we're doing this, but the idea is that by being cab drivers for the citizens of Springfield, we'll eventually gain back enough money to buy back the public transit system. Now, I often get at least $7,000 or $8,000, but because we're getting stuck on this bus, that's probably not going to happen this time. It may not seem like it, but a few small mistakes can really cost you. Oops. That was one of those few small mistakes.
Alright, I'll work the pedals and you steer.
Can I go home? A leprechaun tells me to burn things.
Do you have my pills?
If you run out of time to deliver passengers, they'll just jump out of your car, even if you're really close to your destination, so, you know, you just make it on time or you don't. Here's a quick shortcut. Going behind houses in the Evergreen Terrace is often a good idea, as long as you know how to get back out. So we're kinda low on time, but something neat about the game is that when you pick up a new passenger, they always give you exactly enough time to reach your new destination, so you could theoretically keep playing forever if you're just that good.
Flanders House, please. I've got my eye on their big screen.
Sit down and shut up.
They give you a decent amount of time to start with, but really that's not important. You always get enough time to reach your destination when you pick up a passenger. So presuming you don't run into anything or get slowed down too much, you know, you can make it no matter what. The game is very lenient in that regard, and I'm kinda glad it is, because, well, let's just get this out of the way right now. You need $1 million to finish the game, and that's an insane amount. That essentially means you have to play this game for 10 hours at minimum in order to reach the ending. And that may not seem very long for an average action game or anything like that, but this is a driving game, and it's a crazy taxi driving game at that. There are only 6 locations to drive in. Not enough to support 10 hours of gameplay. But if you just want to play it until you unlock all the characters and locations, then sure, go ahead. That's definitely a lot more sensible.
Run along now.
Worst trip ever.
Hot diggity. Wow, right. I promise I'll try my best not to throw up. I'm afraid of the future.
So things get fairly hectic when you get to the very end of a match.
You're drunker than I am.
You can keep going even if you only have 1 second as long as you pick up a new passenger, but then the time limit gets incredibly strict. We have very little time, but we're going to make great use of a shortcut right here. We need to get to the church, and the church is right on the other side of this water.
Run along now.
Thank you for the ride, my friend.
Get in the bloomin' car already.
Oh, take me home, please.
What year is this?
And yeah, this is usually how it ends.
This isn't fair!
Hey, your rating is...
Reckless.
When you reach a reward, you get to pick from a new vehicle or a new location. Now, there are only 6 locations, but there are 15 vehicles.
You'll rue the day you cross see Montgomery Burns.
Oh! Is it my turn to drive already? Go!
And now I'm going to quickly show off some of the shortcuts we didn't get to see during my last run. This tunnel is a pretty cool one, even though it's only useful in very specific situations, like this one we're in right now, for example. It cuts straight across one of the roads, but it's not often you'll need to take that specific pathway. And it's time to take the Mole Man home again, but this time we'll take a shortcut there. Like I said, the shortcuts in Evergreen Terrace are fairly noticeable and easy to get through. Like these dirt paved roads we're driving across. Simple stuff. And lastly, we're going to show off some of head-to-head mode, which I played with my brother. I'm going to be playing as Marge, and he's going to be playing as Homer. Marge's car is something special, and Homer's car is the all-around car. The gameplay of head-to-head mode is nearly the same as it is in Road Rage mode. You need to get passengers to their location quickly, but you can also bump in to your opponent to steal their passenger. But not all cars are created equal, and Marge's family van has problems. It's very easily tipped over by physics objects, or anything really, and it's very slow. So catching up to an opponent who already has a passenger is almost impossible unless you cut them off by knowing the road better than they do. I definitely wouldn't recommend playing as Marge through the main mode. She's supposed to be able to smash through cars, NPC cars I mean, to get you to your destination faster, but she usually just tips over. There isn't too much to say about Homer's car, on the other hand. It's just a really all-around car. It's not too fast, it doesn't plow through things too well, but it performs adequately in all areas. So if that's your thing, that's probably a good place to start. And that's it for the first episode of The Simpsons Road Rage. We're going to be tackling the next location next time, and quite a few new cars.